All right. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Today in this video, we're going to be talking about high ticket offers, how to create and share about a high ticket offer in a way that deeply resonates with not just your audience, but your high ticket buyers within your audience. So, just a little bit. Thank you for coming back here and watching my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe if this is the kind of content that you want to hear. It just helps us get it out to more and more people. And for those of you who do not know me, I am Jana Niksa, the authentic sales coach. I teach people how to create high ticket offers that sell. Now, within that, there are many moving parts, but today we're going to talk really in specifics about not just how to create the offer, but why you would want to do it in the first place. And yes, you too can create a high ticket offer. Um, and so if this sounds like something you want to do, definitely follow along because we're going to go through the mistakes that I see a lot of clients making, the beliefs that I see them getting blocked around. And then most importantly, let's talk about how we're going to do this the right way. Okay. So first and foremost, in order for you to want to create a high ticket offer, you actually have to decide that that's the way you want to go. And I'm going to make that decision a lot easier for you right now. So, what this is behind me is the descension model versus the ascension model. Okay. Chances are, if you're not a brand new entrepreneur, or maybe you just started working with your first coach, most people are in this ascension model. Okay, they are thinking, okay, I need to build a giant audience, I need to do my lower ticket thing, I need my freebie, and then I'll just run around here for a while and eventually I can work my way up into worthiness of charging high ticket. Okay. That's what a lot of coaches teach. And that's what a lot of people end up doing. But here's the kicker. And maybe you relate with this if you've been in this space. Um, what happens is we get caught up doing all of the things. So we come into the space because we want to help people save their marriage. And next thing you know, we're trying to be a copywriting ninja. We're trying to email people and grow our email list. We're trying to create landing pages. We are creating content out the you know what all over the place when what we actually wanted to do was come in here and work with our clients, right? Have transformations, like create that impact and the income. And when we're stuck doing all of these things in low ticket, not only are we not creating the income, we are so busy with so many hats that we're not even creating the impact. And so people get stuck here. They get frustrated here in this low ticket space. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with low ticket. I'm going to get to that in a second. But there's a process to this that can be a lot easier if you allow it to be. Someone out there type the word simplify. Okay? And the reason that a lot of people get stuck is you cannot do all of these things well. People who are doing the lower ticket thing well have a team that is helping them with their lower ticket thing, and they are elevating them or escalating them or inviting them to their higher ticket things. Okay. Just hopping around in low ticket is not a business strategy, and it's not sustainable for most. If you're not accelerating them through your offer ladder, at some point, it's going to become unmanageable for one person. Okay. And hey, if you are that ninja, then kudos to you. I do have some friends in the space that have been able to make this work. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying for most, it's not probable. And it's really, really a lot of work. Okay. So instead, what I encourage you to do and what I teach my clients to do is create their high ticket offer first. Now, if you're sitting there saying, well, I'm new, how do I know, what the results I provide and all of those things. Well, then, with the training that you have, you created a business around it. So, what are you creating a business around? What results can you provide? What is the transformation you're bringing to the table, right? Because one, if you don't have any training or experience doing that, then you probably want to go get some training and experience doing it one way or another. You know, whether that's through a beta launch or doing some volunteer work for, to build up that skill set, or maybe it's going to get a certification. But we can't very well charge people to work with us if we don't have a skill set, a transformation, a product, or a service that we know we can provide results in. So we have to establish that first. So go do that if you're brand new. If you are, type it in the comments. If you want me to do a video around it, I can. But the bottom line is we don't need people trying to claim they have results they don't have. Okay. So they don't call me the authentic sales coach for nothing. So I'm just going to keep it real. Okay. Now, once you have that certification or you have that experience of taking people through a beta program, or you've come from another world like I did in sales, and you have a skill set that people need, and you know that you can provide that service to them, you owe it to yourself and your business to put your oxygen mask on first by creating your high ticket offer. Okay. Now, here's the good news. Your high ticket offer is probably why you got in this space in the first place. You're going to get to work really closely with people. You are going to get to transform lives, and you're going to see in real time the direct effect of what you're offering. So it's extremely rewarding. Okay. So that's the most important piece. But also, the margins are much higher here. So you're going to make more money right off the bat. Okay. So instead of, if you think about like um, everybody who is trying to do a low ticket thing, I got to start at $100 or I have to start with my $497 thing. Like, think how many of those they have to sell to get up to a 10K month. So if you need to close 20% of the people that see your thing, or 10%, then how big of an audience do you need to make your $500 thing successful, right? Whereas if you have one high ticket offer, you may only need one or two people, okay, to make that 10K month. And so then what does that enable you to do? Well, now instead of looking for thousands of people and trying to build an audience of hundreds of thousands, you're looking for one, the right person. And depending on how well you're messaging around your offer and the offer itself, that process can become very quick. I have clients who have opened up a brand new niche. We created them an offer. They dropped one post. People started commenting and they're booking sales calls. Right? So this can happen rather quickly when this is dialed in around your messaging and around the offer itself, which I'll get to in a second. Then you get to serve at the highest level. You get to serve in your genius zone, right? The reason you created the business the first place, instead of being all caught up in the other 80% of the stuff you don't need to be doing. Okay. You get to be in your 20%. Then you get to hire people who their 20% is all of this stuff to do and launch you into the lower ticket space. So maybe like a 2K thing and a $397, $297, $7. Like, there's different offers. So it's not that we just leave the low ticket people out to dry. That's not the point. But the point is, when you do it this way, you have a sustainable business. A lot of times when you do it this way, you spin out, you become overwhelmed, and you burn out. Okay. So hopefully I have convinced you that a high ticket offer is the way to go. Beyond that, I'll fill you in on something else, because when people start to put together their high ticket offer, especially if you're newer or maybe you've just been in low ticket. It's like, oh my God, am I good enough? Like the gurus are the ones that need to help at this level. How am I, that imposter piece comes in. And I'll just leave you with this. Did you know that second graders can teach first graders better than the actual teacher? So, what does that tell you? First off, there's people in your audience right now that are wanting this information from you and want to work with you at that higher level. And so it is up to you to get out of your own way and create the offer that they've been waiting for. And it also tells you that they don't want to learn it from some guru. And we all know, we've all bought into the gurus programs, and we all know about how much one-on-one TLC attention we get at that level. And that's not what your high ticket buyers want. They want exclusivity. They want customization. They want to work closely with you. Okay. So, yes, you are worthy. Yes, you need to validate your offer. And so let's talk about some of the stuff. So I just did my master class, Limitless Clients, create your high ticket offer that converts. We did it earlier this week. And some of the things that came up around high ticket were, around charging and, how much to charge, how long does it need to be, and things around finding high ticket leads and like what else? I've got notes here. Fear of success, afraid to charge high ticket. And so, anyway, if you want me to do a video on that piece, let me know in the comments and I will do a video on really like just the Q&A from my last masterclass. Okay. And if you ever want to join our masterclass, all the information is in the description. So you can either hop on the waiting list for the next one or, we may have one going on right now. And if you really, really want, I can always send out a replay, but I would highly, highly encourage you to come live. Okay. Um, so I will do a video about those specifics next time because today I want to talk about the biggest mistakes. So the biggest mistakes that I see people making is you're creating an offer that you want to create and not the offer that your client wants to buy. So what do I mean by that? I mean that very often we start creating offers around what they need and not on what they want. Now you're them what they need. The way I like to look at it is you have this gift to give, right? Like I have a ton of sales experience selling in a more authentic, feminine, heart-centered way. That is my genius zone. However, when I came over here to this space, I learned very quickly that a lot of people do not want to learn to sell. So how do I need to message around this or package this thing up so that people get what they buy what they want and then we give them what they need on the inside? And so I had to learn different ways of communicating what sales means to you all, right? Like how to have more consistent clients or, how to get people onto a sales call or when you're on a sales call, how to handle the money objection. Like those are the types of things that you guys are interested in hearing about. But when it comes to just sales in general, people tend to shy away. So it's like, how can you package up your offer in the language of your ideal client and not in the terminology that you would use? Because I have a lot of clients who do a lot of are in the healing space. And so, they're talking about like inner child work and breath work and, activations and meditations and all that stuff is beautiful. Like I'm all about it and I would sign up for it, but I'm far more spiritually evolved, like farther along in my journey than probably their average ideal client. So what does that mean? I get it, but that's because I've been around the spiritual block for a while. Most people don't. And the kicker is the ones that get it and understand your, PhD level knowledge around the topic aren't the ones that really need your help. So we have to focus on the results that you provide them, what they want. And that's what people miss. And I know you guys have heard this before, there's nothing new under the sun, but are you doing it? Because when you start speaking in your ideal client's language, your business will drastically change. Okay. And then you apply that same principle to your offer will sell itself. Okay. Now, let me be clear, there is a sales process involved, but when you lay these dominoes out in the way that I'm suggesting, it makes it so that by the time they get to the sales call, it's really more about tell me about the different ways to work with you. And so I think that's all what we want at the end of the day, right? It's just far less effort and far more ease. So let's talk about that offer. Again, it's all about talking about the payoff and not the process. Putting it in terms of what are the results that they want and not the modalities that you're using, right? And so when you think about your ideal client, it's not that they just want to, lose 5 pounds or to, you know, um, have a better relationship with their kids. Like it's so much deeper than that. So, how can you really speak to them at that deeper level? That desire. You want to activate their desire around the results that you provide. Because even like with what I do, it's not that you guys even really want clients. Like you really want a freedom-based business where you don't feel like the constant pressure to bring new people in on a daily basis so that you can actually go out and live your life, so that you can take a month off if you want to, and you're still going to have income coming in, right? So that you can go volunteer, be with your kids, like whatever it may be, you have that freedom. And you have that sovereignty and that independence that you know how to create a sustainable business that's changing lives. That's ultimately it. And you are using the clients and the consistency of that as the vehicle to get the feeling. But it's not the clients. It's not like you just want to like collect clients and like have a little client statues. This is starting to get weird. But you know what I mean? Like it's about what the clients and having consistency in your business will afford you in your life. Okay. So, not to mention the impact that you get to create in their lives as well. So, if you're looking at your offer, chances are you're probably undercharging and you're probably packaging it up in a way that you understand and they don't understand. And so, something else that high ticket buyers like is multidimensionality in their offers. Like the days of like you get 47 modules and 237 coaching calls and a Facebook group and all of those pieces, high ticket buyers are looking for more. They're looking for, is there an event inside your offer? Are there other experts? Because sometimes we need to hear things different ways, right? Are there other experiences inside this offer, like that really make it more juicy, right? Like one of my clients is creating an offer where they're taking people to Hawaii and they're going to do a healing in this really powerful place in Hawaii for their clients to remove blocks and to rewire them. And, that's just really powerful. And so they're going to sit under this waterfall. I mean, I don't know the specifics of it, but this is just me like, bringing that to life. And that's what people forget to do. And so where is it not jumping off the page at your ideal client? And then also, where's your messaging around it so that you're really getting them to fully get you and what you do? you're establishing your authority, you're sharing how you create results for others, like this starts to like click into place. But it really takes your clarity and your conviction around that high ticket offer first, and then it builds out from there. So take a look at your offer and start to look at how you've been like, first off, does it have high ticket value? Like, are there elements to it that would really excite a high ticket buyer, like the events, like the experience, like extend different opportunities within that offer, right? Like, what else is there? What other experts? Like, how can we make this juicier so that it looks like a no-brainer to your ideal client? And then how do we package up and share around it in their language and in their verbiage in the form of what they want so that it deeply resonates with them? And most of the time, people are talking about the process, they're talking about all the different steps involved, when what they need to focus on is the feeling that they're going to get with the transformation and what that is going to afford them in their lives, their relationships, their health, right? And so, how are you missing the boat there and still doing it through your PhD mind lens around the topic? Because, I know I've said this before, but back when I was really like suffering and depressed and anxious and drinking wine and doing all of these things that I was doing, I was not searching for inner child work. I didn't even know it existed. I just wanted to relax. I just wanted to sleep better, right? And we get so caught up in our modalities that we forget that that's not, if people knew that was what the solution was, then they would be doing it. And so it's really a matter of getting inside the head of your ideal client and fully understanding where they are and creating from there and creating the offer for them and not you. And then sharing and messaging around it in a way that speaks to them, not over their head. Okay. And so, um, with that, I think the other thing that I would say more than anything else that stops people from creating a high ticket offer is people can't afford it. And here's the truth. First off, you get what you expect, not what you want. So if you're beating the drum of people can't afford high ticket or the economy or whatever, recession, then you're basically shooting yourself in the foot before you even start. So instead, adopt a belief that actually serves the result that you're trying to go for, which I would assume is that not everybody is broke. And I'm going to tell you that there's a couple of truths here in all of this. One is there will always be people that can afford it, and there will always be people that can't. Your job is to speak and message to the ones that can. And that is what pulls together the high ticket leads. And so the better you speak and communicate with them in their language, like I talked about before, and the more you speak to that more, what's the word? It just fell out of my mind. That elevated buyer, that motivated buyer, that empowered buyer, the more of those people will come forward. But when we're using words like struggle and can't make ends meet, and then we wonder why everybody's broke, well, there you go. So it's really important that we are calling in the right people. So knowing that, are you speaking to the right people? Because like I said before, there's always going to be people that can afford it and people that can't. There's always going to be high ticket buyers that don't want your low ticket thing. There's always going to be low ticket buyers that will never invest in high ticket. And there's also going to be buyers that were low ticket that you can elevate and train and express and show through example why high ticket is really the way to go. So it's up to us to pull those people forward. We can't just sit back and say everybody's broke. I'll give you an example and then I'm going to hop off. I was I worked with several different influencers. Um one of which the first thing she said to me when she came to me is my entire audience was broke. And she had over 100,000 followers. And I was just like, okay. And she was getting on sales calls and everybody was broke. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So we tweaked messaging. We gave her an offer they actually wanted. We put together an offer that it really spoke to them, and we helped her craft her sales process in such a way that really only qualified buyers would be hopping onto those calls anyway. She went from the belief that everybody was broke to the belief of having a fully booked out calendar and a waiting list. Okay. And she wasn't a whole lot of moves, you guys. First, the belief that that what she thought wasn't true. And then we worked on the do piece of it. So the woo, got the woo backing up the do. And then we were able to go and do, and it went off like gangbusters. So just know that where you are is not where you have to continue to be. It starts with changing your belief and then taking action on that new belief and putting into place the actual results that you want based on that. So, all right. If you want me to talk next week, I will talk about some of these really intricate questions that came in through the masterclass. And again, join us for our Limitless Expansion Masterclass when we have it next. And all the details are in the description. And please like and share this video, and I will see you all next week.